Hi guys, still working on this a little bit. I got the other pulley and I've cleaned it off. I haven't checked the ratios because I wrote them all down, but I didn't categorize them, so I don't know exactly what's what, but I'm kind of putting things together. This is just one of the projects I'm working on today, trying to get some of the projects out of the way, goofy stuff out of the way. I don't know what's out of the way. Not doing too much back here. We're cleaned up right now, but I had to come back and get the tripod. So anyhow, I do have the pulley cleaned up, and I think it will fit. I think it was 1 1/4 or 2 1/4, and that's showing pretty close to being about 2 1/4. So I think it's the same size. I took the other pulley up and measured the old pulley that came off of there. That was a 9 1/4 or something like that. I just don't remember numbers anymore. Got this all cleaned up, as you saw. Got a lot of things I got to do. Well, it's been dry around here. Now we're going to go back to a visit to a different location. But I had to come back and get the tripod, or I'd have to handle you while I'm trying to do something that I shouldn't handle you with. So that's in the works. Don't look too bad back here. Got to mow. I got to check the RPMs on that. Probably do that later today. I have to go up to Pennsylvania, get some more ethanol-free gas. I'm hoping they got it in stock. I hope to do that this afternoon, which today is Wednesday. But you probably won't see this till tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure. The tractor is being used right now. We're going to go see what's going on with the tractor. Another thing on the list today, or working on today, is I needed that generator, try to get all that stuff onto one pallet and see what I can do in that aspect. So that's kind of, I want to have a mobile air station, look at that, squirrels chew on everything, guys. These are lead weights that I got. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. The squirrels, they just chew on everything around here. For some reason, they like aluminum and lead, I guess, to sharpen their teeth. Maybe they get lead poisoning. Who knows? All right, back to the main project of the day. Been real dry here. The rain that they got in DC, they got 1 inch of rain in DC. I think it was yesterday. Maybe the day before, I'm not sure. We didn't get any up here. And we're only, as the crow flies, maybe 25 miles. They got 1 inch down there, we didn't get nothing. And so the potatoes have been without water for quite some time. I put a soaker hose on them. I'm hoping you can hear me through all this massive engine noise. So we're coming in here. There's another reason why I need a mobile air station. See the tire flat? Tires all flat around here because they're so old and dry rotted. I guess you guys recognize that and you know where you're at. All right, been working on that. Oh, that's another project. While we're here, we'll go over that and we'll just walk over the other thing, turn this noise off so you can hear. The tractor's running, that's what you hear. I don't know if you recall a lot of the past videos, this switch has always been problematic. Well, when I put this switch in there, because that really was problematic, it kept shutting off and backfiring and stuff like that, because when my lights go out, then I knew I didn't have ignition juice. So I changed that with a switch that I got for something else, but I must have bumped this switch just a little bit. This is the start switch. Did you see that? The back of it fell out, and you can see from the oldness, I don't know if you can see it in here, oldness versus newness, that's probably been the problem all along. This switch here is $72. Now I looked at a bunch of other switches, but they just don't fit down in behind this support here. And I have a bunch of other switches. I showed them in maybe a short movie where Murphy stopped by twice again. Now we're gonna get the tripod. So I'm working on that also. Got a lot of stuff going on. Hard to do a video when you can't edit, because if you do a video, I don't know, like this walking up and setting this tripod on, I would probably cut that out of a video. I would turn the tractor off, except for it doesn't like to start. I think John Deere has a problem with electrical parts. So here's what we got. Here's what the potatoes look like. Now they look pretty good, but they're not dark enough green and not big enough. But they're dry. If you can, now I've already hilled them up again. The lower part here is but you can see how it's just getting dry. It's damp down underneath, which is probably good enough for potatoes, but they're not quite dark enough green. So normally you put 5-10-10 on them, because then they grow more root than plant. But why do they need to grow root if they don't have plant to, you know? So what I did, I'll take you over there. What I did, and I did have a level, is I made this goofy little stand for this flip-flop sprayer. Okay, everybody probably had one of these in the past, and I leveled this, then made this, and put a washer in this so it wouldn't squish through. So I can probably turn it a little bit one way or the other. And there's some kind of adjustments on here. I don't know what. I figure I just boost the pressure up till I hopefully get it all. I hope it's in the right spot. I don't know. The drip irrigation system didn't work. There's just not enough pressure down here, because we're pulling water from, I don't know, 800 or 900 feet back that way. So basically what I'm going to do is turn on the pump and see what the pressure is. I got all this set up. This is a multi-purpose thing. I spray everything with it. Spray the apple tree, spray this, spray that, then wash it out. And it's good for irrigation. Okay, watch me push in the clutch. Okay, I pushed in the clutch. Let's see what kind of pressure we're running. Oh Lord, that don't look too bad. I'm getting wet all the way over here though. It pulses. I can feel drip over here. And it could just sit there. Now, this garden's 20 feet long by, I think, I don't know how wide. I'll measure it. I don't think the camera will get too wet here. I think it could take a drop or two. Of course, when it's going up like that, I need more that way, I think. The wind's blowing down this way is some of the problem. See how the wind catches these plastics and just blows them up, and a lot of air goes through them. I guess the wood will get a little wet, but I can handle that too. Man, I don't really feel like taking that out and having to redo it. I guess I'll go over and see how it's coming on this side. I think I'm watering my wood. Don't really care. Oh, it's getting these potatoes. Now if it would stop, I'd be in good shape. I know there's an adjustment on there. I think it's going the other way. I think that's just right. Look at it. Got lucky on that one, didn't I? And if it goes a little over into the other garden, that'll be all right. Now, the only problem with watering this way is you're also watering the weeds. And I don't really like to do that. I tried to favor that just a little bit uphill, because all the water will, I guess, capillary action and gravity bring it downhill a little bit. But we do have these wet here. So they're getting a little water up here. The center's going to be might have to make another stand like that. Look at that thing's leaking like a sieve too. I can also boost the pressure up a little bit. It's not hitting these in ones very good. I'll give it just a couple more pounds of pressure. We're just at an idle. Let me see what it's boosting at. I've got this thing set up pretty good. We're sitting at, we'll go up to 20 pounds. I think that you can see that. I can't see in the camera what you see. Yeah, we'll take it up to 20 pounds and see what happens. It was at about 15. Uh-oh, that might be a little bit too far. But it might be getting up there. So this is where I'm dilly-dallying with. I've spent probably 2 hours putting this nonsense together. Yeah, I'm getting all the way over here. I don't want to water these weeds. But I am getting... It just takes time to see where this thing's dropping water at. And I don't know how much water it will drop. I mean, I know how many The tank is 50 gallons, okay? There's 231 cubic inches in a gallon. If I pump this area full of water, if I pump this area full of water, how many inches of water will I have in this area? I know it's 20 feet long. I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, probably 18 foot wide. So you guys can do the math on that. So you got 18 by, let's see, where am I at? 231 times 50, that's how many cubic inches of water are in that tank. And divide that into 18 feet, oh, the wind's blowing it back, 18 feet by 20 feet times 12, and then divide the results that you got from the 231 times 50 in that. Leave a comment down below if you figured out how many gallons of water we're going to be dumping on here. And it looks like it's going to be favoring that center row, but I don't really care. Looks like something happened in this area, because look how there's hardly any potatoes there and hardly any potatoes there. Yeah, I'm going to have that old flip-flop water sure got a heck of a leak, doesn't it? I guess you can see that. But does it really matter? Nah. Those would be the wet potatoes. See all the water coming off of that? I don't know how long it'll take. I guess we're I don't know how many minutes into this video, how long it'll take to empty the 50 gallons. I am watering my wood. A lot of people say that the first month or so, or first short period, you should let your firewood get out and get soaked on by the rain, because the rain soaks into the wood and makes the sap flow better because it's thinner. Anybody know anything about that? You can leave a comment below. Interested in comments today. Wood down there, can you see the date on it? That's just chunks and hunks, so that doesn't really matter. That's just pine wood. That really doesn't make any matter. I think I'm gonna turn it down I'm gonna turn it down 2 pounds to see if I can get it a little closer in. I don't feel like watering these weeds, because then I have to mow them. And here's a row of wood. You guys seen this whole row of wood. You ever go into an attic and have that attic dry wood smell? Well, that's what in here gets like. This wood is a couple years old now, I think. I probably did a video when I covered it up. That plastic's getting real old. Looks like I got a little water going into the spray thing here. Let's see, we're gonna cut it back to 18 degrees. I guess you can see that. We're cutting back to about 18. I can't see the gauge from here. You guys can probably see it better than me. Let's see what we're doing on the tank wise. I can't even see how far down it is. It's not very far down. That tractor's just in idle, so it won't take much to do that. The garden really doesn't look too good. Never does right after you plant it. The tomatoes are just starting to grab hold. Those are the tomato plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they were given to us. But the squash and zucchini, most of the time I start them in the greenhouse. The cucumbers. Excuse me, I got a peanut pajama in my throat. Anyhow, most of the time I start them in the greenhouse. This year I didn't, and the birds got down there and picked the seeds out, so we put a few cages around some of them and got a little bit. So we started some more, because just kind of like to get a little bit of vegetables. Anyhow, that's what I'm working on right now. I think next I'm going to work on, I don't know what I'm going to work on. That's coming over here. Let's see. Looks pretty good. You just kind of got to observe and see what's going on. That ground is so soft. You see the water running off there, make a puddle, it's just absorbing in. Now the next thing I might do for these poor old potatoes is start bringing my leaf mulch in and mulching them up higher with leaf mulch. Found one potato bug on them. I spray them with BT if they get out of hand. My water supply is, I'll show you that while we're playing. I get the water over here. The water comes from about 800 feet back. I kind of took you through a ride through the woods on that in a video in the past. If you haven't seen the video in the past, there's almost 1,200 videos I got, and some of them you'll find interesting. Watch them. Some of them you won't find interesting. You're crazy if you watch them, but they're all different. Well, they're not all different, saw and wood. Anyhow, the water comes from about 800 feet that way. Now remember, that was the same water I was using to wash my nuts with. Watch it there. The black walnuts, not last year, but the year before. Didn't get any black walnuts last year. And now the hose is going down to my mosquito factory. I do breed mosquitoes. You know, they carry a lot of diseases that you want, so you always want to maintain a high mosquito development center. Oh, the deer Bambis are starting to sleep underneath here. I shook up a couple this morning, little itty bitty things. I don't think they could have been much more than a foot tall. There used to be a not big pond, a mud hole back here that was also called my mosquito development center, and it washed out years ago. I'd like to redo it, but I just don't think I'm probably ever get around to it. Miss playing in the water. But this was a hole I dug out with a backhoe, and you see all the movement around down there? The mosquitoes get in there, but this is frog heaven. And so you can see I'm letting water go in there now. I'll fill it back up to that edge. Last week I had it up to there, and it evaporates pretty quick. But this was a real deep hole that I could suck when I was irrigating the garden back a long time ago when I did garden. I would suck the water out of here and then take it up. This whole area, if you're not familiar with this whole area down here, there wasn't anything but garden here. The green, that Copep barn, that's been here for a while, but all those trees weren't there. And even before the Copep barn was there, that was pumpkin patch and potatoes and stuff. Down here was tomatoes, squash, peppers, all the good selling stuff. I used to sell a lot of that stuff. We had pretty maintained 200 plus tomato plants every year, and I've sold all the cages, sold everything. Don't have poop left. The deer have just gotten so heavy that ain't worth the effort feeding the deer. They were eating me out of house and home. Couple buckets. That was some wood that I was going to split, but I wanted to finish that back box off. Anyhow, we're at 18. That's about good enough to watch. Boring stuff. We will go up and do one last look, see how the ground's doing. Leave me a comment down below if water on your wood makes it dry faster, rainwater on your wood makes it dry faster, and how many inches of water I'll be putting down in this area. And that is a wrap. I'm glad you came by. As somebody would say, toodles. Go over and catch Larry and Robin outdoors. Outdoors with Larry and I can't remember name, and outdoor Wild Wayne's World Garage. He's a good one to catch. And I don't think Mark's into this too much. I bet he plants a few tomatoes, but not sure. Anyhow, we'll catch you later. I'm glad you stopped by. Thanks for stopping in, and hit the bell icon to see what the goofball's up to next.